So, little voiceover here. Yeah, there were two boulders this session that I couldn't top, that I was a little bit disappointed about too. I try to be as consistent as possible with trying to do 7Bs. I at least want to do one 7B every single session, but sometimes it's just really hard to do that. Today was one of those sessions. So yeah, first of all, this 7A that I tried, like a little bit at the beginning of the session, it was really weird. And I think I could have probably done it, but like it was really hard to do in one session. It had these really weird pinches and really weird body movements. And yeah, like I matched this pinch right here, and I had to go to like the pinch above, or the crimp, but because I didn't want to waste a lot of time on this one, I eventually went to all the boulders and still managed to top 3 7As, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, I was just really wasn't proud about this one. And then a little bit later, I tried this 10 right here, the 7B. I felt like I could have probably done this one, but I tried a other boulder just before this one, which was quite a crimpy boulder, and I think if I didn't do that one, I could have probably done this boulder. The crimps in this boulder felt like quite good and like, weren't really that small. I had already tried the top of this boulder, but I did some really weird stuff eventually because I felt really, really tired. And yeah, I just had like, so many attempts that I just, did weird stuff and just used wrong beta or, just tried to, pull as hard as possible, that I kind of forgot to try some other stuff as well. So yeah, I felt like I didn't really climb as much as I wanted to. I tried this boulder for quite some time, and I think I probably can do it or could have done it in a fresh session. But in every single gym that I go to, I just really try to do at least one 7B in one session. So yeah, when I couldn't do this boulder, I felt quite disappointed because I felt like I could have done better. but I gave it my all and it just didn't went this session. But at least I gave it my all, so yeah. So yeah, in this video there won't be any reviews because this gym is quite new, and the only bad review is by this guy who gave the gym a 1 star because he couldn't drink beer in the gym. For the people climbing in Vrijhaven, I did gave it a 1 star before because there were a lot of things that were just really ruining my climbing experience, like the grading and how the staff acted when me and my friend climbed here for the very first time. Bergstof also marketed this gym like it was like the best gym that they have ever built. I definitely don't think this is the best gym in the Netherlands, but it's definitely quite a good gym now. After my second session, or this session, my view of this climbing gym changed. It was completely different than it was when they first opened up. And I definitely think with improvements that they made, they definitely deserve the 4 stars that I gave them. So yeah, this rating video wouldn't of course be a rating video if I didn't rate the gym. So for the newer people watching this rating series or this video, and you have never seen the other videos that I've made before, I can be quite harsh with rating the gym, but every time I rate a gym, I try to be as accurate as possible. This can mean that some subjects can be rated a lot lower, but let's say if this gym gets under a 6, which I don't think will happen, it doesn't have to say it doesn't have to mean that the gym is automatically a really bad gym. It just means that this gym maybe just isn't as good in some of the aspects like other gyms. It doesn't have to mean that because the ventilation is bad in this gym that the wood setting is also automatically bad, because the gym can still be really, really good, but maybe just really doesn't have that great of ventilation. I just rate it aspect for aspect so people know what to expect from this gym. I do this in English so people from other countries understand, what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. And so also that people from other countries, when they visit the Netherlands, that they know a little bit from what to expect with these gyms. Normally, I take the reviews online from the gym also into account when rating the gym, so I also have other people their experience with the gym themselves. But because this gym is rated quite good, um, I won't be taking that in account, but I will just tell you my experience with every single aspect and rate it on the basis of what I felt in the gym. So yeah, with all of that said, let's dive right into the rating. So I will begin with the training area. I have seen the training area in the gym, and I think it's a really solid training area. You basically have everything, weights, pull-up bars, I think also weighted belt. It's a really good gym to do weighted pull-ups and to do different exercises. I also saw some machines. I do miss a campus board. I think that's quite good thing to maybe have in the gym also. Some of the big gyms like Routesetting had a campus board. But yeah, I think the training area is quite solid. I won't be giving it a 10. I think I'm gonna be giving it a 8. So yeah, now for the wood setting, I think the wood setting is quite good in this gym. The slabs are pretty nice. The dynamic boulders, but also like the power boulders are more spread out. Like you don't really have a lot of old school power boulders like it used to be when I first came into this gym, but you now have more dynamic boulders, and also a lot of different styles. I do have a problem. The gym is not super big, so you kinda run out of problems quite fast. If I had the second session in the gym, I would be kinda like feeling like I would be running out of stuff in the gym already. I've had this in Krachtstof and in some other gyms as well. Um, yeah, I think definitely like, expanding the space will definitely like, give you more hard stuff in the you can do in the gym than, these two really hard boulders. Because if these two hard boulders maybe aren't boulders that you're really psyched on trying, it can be really hard to stay motivated. And also I think maybe experimenting more with like dynamic moves and power moves, and maybe like making some stuff that you can see online, or making some replicas from outdoor climbs. I think that would be quite nice to have also in this gym, just bringing out some out of the box ideas, bring that into the gym, and just like experimenting with a lot of different stuff. They kind of do that already, with like the mystery boulders. Like there was like a new set today, with like the mystery boulders, um, and they basically like switch the text to like the wall, so you don't know what the grade is, or like what the number is from like the boulder, which I think is really really nice. um yeah, I think stuff like that, just experimenting with different things, I think that's just really good. Yeah, for me, I would probably rate it a 8. I think the route setting is really really good. um and yeah, I think they should just continue like this. So, now I'm going to rate the air quality, conditioning, and ventilation. I will be doing that in one single, um, yeah, I'm gonna do that in one single subject, because, yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. Air quality was just good. I didn't have any chalk flying around. It wasn't like super humid in the gym. Yeah, for ventilation, well, there was like fans going around the gym. I didn't really felt super sweaty, even though I tried quite hard and did some quite powerful climbs. I did felt like I was cooling off in the gym, and I definitely felt the ventilation quite well. And yeah, for conditioning, yeah, it's basically like the same thing. I think it's just really good ventilation. I had some pretty big gyms that didn't have ventilation like this. Gyms like Del's Blow didn't have ventilation like this, and also Sterk didn't have ventilation like this. Um, so yeah, I think I'm going to rate the ventilation in this gym, because it's quite a good gym with that when it comes to ventilation. Um, I think I'm going to rate that, I think somewhere in the 9. I don't really know certainly how, for certain, how it will feel in the winter. So that's why I'm not giving it a 10. And I did feel a little bit cold at the beginning of the session, but that can also be um, just me. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So now we're gonna rate the cleanness. I think the holds were very, very clean. Even though there were some boulders already on the wall for 3 weeks, I think they reset the boulders quite often, and yeah, the holds on every single boulder I've climbed on were just quite, felt just nice to climb on. Not greasy, not not too choked up, just fine, just like, how holds should normally feel. There were no black spots on the holds as far as I've seen, and also, yeah, there was like no blood on the wall, and it all, um, yeah, looked quite clean to me. So I think I'm going to rate the cleanness in this gym. I think a 10. So yeah, for sociality slash friendliness, yeah, I think I'm going to rate it a 7. The reason why I rated the 7 is because of my very first experience with the gym. I basically had to sit on somebody else's nasty like climbing stuff. It was like in one of those square boxes, and the staff was really rude to me and my friend, because we couldn't sit the on the mats for some reason, even though there were no rules about it hanging in the gym. And also there was like nobody climbing on that part where we sat down. And there were also like not that many places in the gym where you could really like sit down, because it was quite crowded back then. Also, when I wanted to refill my chalk, the person refilling my chalk really, it felt like she really didn't want to be there. Um, it was just like, how much chalk do you want? Just scooping it up and here you go. Even though I kind of get it, because they were eating something or lunching, I guess, it still felt like, it could be like a more opener, because I kind of talked about that I needed the chalk so I could like climb a pretty hard grade, like a 10, that I was like working on, like the green 10 with the crims. And yeah, she didn't really care at all. She said okay. Like, I didn't really felt like, yeah, like I was really like hurt or something. Like, she really wasn't any interaction there. I think they just really had like a really long day, had set a lot of boulders or did a lot of stuff. Um, but yeah, definitely like for my second time climbing here, I definitely think there was like a little bit of a bummer, but like the rest of the gym was just fine. Like the people climbing in the gym were really, really friendly, social, and like you were also cheering me on some of the boulders, which was really, really nice. I talked also with a few people, and I just had a really, I think the sociality and friendliness in the gym is, I think fine. So yeah, now for safety slash safeness, I think they did went a little bit overboard when I first came into the gym. They were like really, really strict, like too strict with the rules. There are like also like there are like a lot of rules just hanging. Like there's like you have to brush when you have been climbing on the kilter board rule that was like hanging in the gym. Which I get that. I think that's a fair rule. But there was also like the no sitting on the mats rule that was like implemented on like the bulk, when you want to walk on the mat. You basically have to like stand behind the mat, like on the hall in like the hallway or passageway, um, before you can like climb, or sit somewhere on like one of those wooden banks. I think this is one of those instances where they did go a little bit overboard with it. I think if there is nobody climbing, what is the harm to just like sit a little bit on the mats? Like, of course, like you can't, it's not, it's of course not the idea is of course not to lie on the mats, but I think just sitting normally on the mats is, I think, just fine if there's nobody climbing in that part of the gym. Um, because I know that the gym kinda, wants everyone to just like follow the rules and have like a good example also for kids climbing there. But they did went overboard with it. I know how that impacted me, my climbing session, the very first time when I came here, when I and my friend accidentally didn't follow the rules. And it just really wasn't that great, because it felt like they were like on your neck the whole time. It didn't really felt like you were really like free, like the name of the Bouldergym, which yeah, I was just really pointed about. But if you follow the rules, you're fine, I guess. But it kinda, gives those vibes like, how they act when you don't follow the rules in Dells Blow, even though in Dells Blow you can't really do anything about it. Here you do have the rules clearly spelled out for you now. Um, which yeah, I think in the long run, I think I'm definitely not going to give this a 5, but I definitely think it's going to be a 6 for me, because it ruined my climbing session quite badly. when I first came into this gym the very first time, because the rules just weren't clear enough, and yeah, like the staff was like really like on our asses like the whole time. But yeah, besides that, I think the safety slash safeness is fine. So the total score of this gym is a 8. I think that's a really great score, and I think with the improvements that this gym made, I think yeah, it's just a really nice gym to have visited, and yeah, I think it's good to have a gym like this that don't completely like focuses on the new style of bouldering and just pushing really hard weights, but also having a gym that um, you know has some old school and has some new school and have some kind of different like styles, and having a gym that has a more chill vibe and social vibe. I did felt quite nervous because I didn't knew what I would expect now, like the second session that I climbed in the gym, because like 6 months ago I of course put it the 1-star review online, which I now changed to a 4-star review. Um, so yeah, I didn't knew what to expect, how to, if I had a lot of haters now because I had this 1-star review, a Google review that I put it online. But yeah, I put it online because I just wanted to, um, you know, um, I just wanted everyone to know my experience with the gym that one session. But I wanted to, show the people my experience in the gym back then. But that completely changed now, and I think I definitely learned a lot about when gyms just open that they just aren't certain what to set yet, and they also have like a lot of like they also don't have like a lot of holds like they now have. They have now like a lot more different holds they can also use and get from like other gyms, which is really really nice. Which I didn't knew, and I think I learned a lot. And yeah, I think this gym definitely didn't deserve my 1-star review, and I think I've learned a lot about that. But I was also still like 18 back then, and I definitely wasn't like grown up like I am right now. So yeah, I learned a lot from it, and I definitely know now how to deal with that. And I definitely think it's better to, give gyms that are just in like the Netherlands more time to adjust, because then you usually see what the gyms are really like. Usually also have like the full, um, experience usually from the gyms. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I would definitely recommend this gym. I think everyone should definitely go here once. Um, yeah, I think for the rest, I don't have much to say except thank you guys for watching. Next video will be Sterk Spoor. Um, so yeah, later.